What is good, y'all? Welcome to Let's Cap. I'm your host, Ronald, also known as Youcapper from Sportsmemo.com, at Youcapper Sports on Twitter. Got my guy Chris and me, Chris B. Cappin. We figured out a way to get his YouTube going with the show as well. So if you're on his channel, if you follow us, subscribe to his channel as well, you'll be seeing Let's Cap whenever he pops in. That's a dope feature that we got over on that StreamYard. So hopefully we continue growing the show and we continue partnering in this way because we've been cashing even through last season too, Chris, like the MLB season and things like that. Just continuing to grow in that direction. I think it's been a great partnership as we continue to go, move forward, right? I think we just, I think yesterday was an even day for me, 2-2 on my sports memo side, but a lot of the things we talked about kind of hit. I mean, I didn't end up posting the Suns team total under, but I did bet that. But I also took the full game over, so I missed that one by the hook. Chris, how did you do yesterday?
Yeah, it was the same for me. I see. It was pretty much the same. Official plays, I ended up staying off of the over that we talked about with Denver and Detroit, just because Jaden Ivey was supposed to have his minutes limited. So I stayed off that under and missed that and missed that under. But I did the other one that we talked about went over by a point, which was the Orlando game, the Orlando and Phoenix game. So tough loss there to go over by half a point. But it is what it is. I talked about Youcapper double on your show. I played that one yesterday. That did cash at the beginning of the fourth quarter for us, and then I ended up taking Fred VanVleet over his points, and he finished 2 points shy. So that one kind of sucked too. So overall, 1-2 day yesterday, but I went light yesterday. So it wasn't. I told everybody that I wasn't going too heavy. Just really didn't like the slate too much yesterday. I did like that deep dive that we had on the Orlando and Phoenix game though, and definitely should have cashed.
We kept going back and forth on the team total and the full game. I did mention I was gonna take one, like kind of split the unit on that, so that's what I ended up doing after the show. So kind of I mean, obviously I lost the juice there, but losing by a half point, I feel like we had the right read. Let's go into today's slate here. We got the Sixers and the Hornets up first. Share my screen. All right, I think we're aligned on this one. We talked a little bit about it in the chat, but go ahead and break it down first.
Yeah, RC. So when I look at this game, first thing I think about is that I looked at travel situation for both of these teams, and neither one of these teams are on the front end of a back-to-back at all. We know that Embiid is a campaigning for the MVP, so we've expected a lot of points from Embiid.
Hold on real quick, Chris. Sixers are on the front end of the back-to-back.
They are on the front end of a back-to-back?
Yeah, that's one of the things that I capped too.
Oh, I don't think I saw that. Okay, no.
Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Okay, so that throws mine off just a tad bit, but I had a couple key points that I wanted to mention. One of them was that we think about the Hornets as being an under team. They've actually been over in 3 straight games. Their defense is really taking a step back, but I think it could be a letdown spot defensively. RC for the 76ers in this spot. After playing a tough game against the Cavs on the road 2 nights ago, you look at this Sixers team. They're 13-6 to the over in road games versus teams that have a losing record with those games. They're 13-6 to the over in road games after playing a team that has a losing record. After beating a team that didn't have a winning record.
Gotcha.
So it's typically a letdown spot. Defensively, I think those games are averaging about 231 points. I also looked at the Sixers as road favorites, RC, in conference games. It gets even better. They're 6-3 to the over in that spot. Those games are combining for about 229 points and include 4 straight overs in that spot as well. And then, the other thing I think that's important, RC, is that the Sixers, they're 3-1 to the over when they're coming off a win versus a team that had a winning record, and then they're facing a team that has a losing record. So we always talk about that, right? Like how motivated will they be on the defensive end? I think the game 2 nights ago was really, really important for them to beat the Cavs in Cleveland. For their confidence. Another team that's like tier 2 when we talk about like kind of the division between these like which level these teams are on in the Eastern Conference. So for all those reasons, I like this game to go over. The Sixers, last thing I'll say is that they are 5-2 to the over when they are road favorites with a total of 225 or lower. So we know how good their offense has been post All-Star break as well. So I like the over in this game, I see.
Yeah, I mean, going back to post All-Star break numbers here. So if we go post All-Star break, just the advanced stats here on the Sixers side, right? They're up there in offensive rating, second in the league, just barely under the Kings. And we know how the Kings have been doing. The only reason why you don't see a lot of points on their side is because of their pace, right? But offensively, they're very efficient. On the defensive side of the ball, though, they've also been giving it up, right? 22nd in the league in defensive rating. Obviously, the Hornets haven't been a great offensive team. 8 straight unders post All-Star break as well. But you mentioned the last 3 games they've been going over. It correlates with Mark Williams not being in the lineup. He's that guy in the paint that paint presence that was kind of limiting the points in the paint for opposing teams. One thing here's some trends that I looked at. I mean, you mentioned some of them already, so I'll go to the ones that you didn't mention, right? Because you didn't notice the first leg of back-to-back games. So if you just say Sixers on the first leg of back-to-back games, here, 7-3 ATS, 9-1 straight up, 7-3 to the over there, or averaging a combined score of 231.1. That's above the 227 today. Looks like it went up to 227 and a half. Is that 227 and a half? All right, so it is going up. It continues to go up here. Another thing to mention too, if you say that they're the road favorite, right? Only 3 games, but one thing to note, obviously they didn't cover these 3 games here, but all 3 went over by margin, right? They went over by a big margin here, especially this one against the Pacers. You know, a fast-paced team, a team that doesn't play defense either. I can only look towards the over in this game. One thing to mention on the Hornets side, as far as trend-wise, if you go to the Hornets and we say that they're playing a team on the first leg of back-to-back games, right? So we go ON rest equals 0. Oh, sorry. Next, was it NO? Sorry. ON rest. My bad. I think it was a different trend. It might be a different team here. But for the most part, it is the Hornets. Maybe they're the ones who kind of make it kind of scary to take the over in this game, right? Because of their offensive issues. But in the last 3 games, we know that they're giving it up. Hopefully they go a quicker pace here with Mark Williams out. That's the only way that I could look is towards the over. If you want to take the first half over, if I go back to the 76ers, on the first leg of back-to-back games, majority of the damage is done in that first half. 65.1 points per game for the Sixers in that first half. So if you want to look towards the first half over instead of the full game, that's another way that you could pivot off of it. But I think they're going to score well above. That's my opinion, though. Did you actually take it, or is that something that was a lean?
No, I took it, RC. I think the other thing,
okay.
Yeah, I did take it. I took it at 227. I talked about it on my show this morning at 226 and a half, but then I didn't play it. But then I did go back and pin the comment that I did take it at 227. I think RC, we talk about Charlotte, like, and I understand people like, well, we've been playing Charlotte unders, right? But the thing that's giving me reason to take it is if you look at it's not more so Charlotte, it's more so Philly. This is just like a bad letdown spot for them. So if you look at Charlotte, I put this chat, I put this query in the chat earlier. I see if you look at Philly after they've come off when they played a team that has a 55% win percentage or better. So a previous opponent team has a 55% win percentage or better, and then their next opponent team has a below. What did I put in here? So Sixers and previous win RC. So previous win. Lowercase p, previous opponent has a 50% win percentage, and then their next opponent, that they're playing today, has a 50% win percentage or lower. They just give it up in this spot. I think it's should be 9-2 to the over.
So previous opponent is greater than or equal to 55, then the opponent is less than 500, right?
Drop the 55 to 50. I think that's what it is.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, that's cool. There we go.
There you go. All right, so
9-2, yeah.
That makes a lot of sense there.
Yeah, so it's just a letdown. I see. I think we also saw this earlier this year when they played against the Charlotte Hornets because they played against Charlotte already in Philly, and that game also went over. It was a game where Philly came out slow, and then they had to pick it up late. So primetime letdown spot. We saw this the other day when they were coming back home against the Portland Trailblazers, and they went over in that game as well, and had to fight back a little bit later in that game as well.
Let me do one more thing. Are they double-digit favorites at this point, or is it still nine and a
I
half?
think
So
I
it
think
is
it's
10.
I think it's 10. Yeah.
Let's just see real quick how they do. All right, so just one game so far. Road favorite of double digits, 1-0 straight up, 1-0 against the spread. Well above the over.
Mm-hmm.
I like it, dude. I
Mm-hmm.
I think they smash. I really do think they smash. It might be.
A Philly team total over two.
It could be a Philly team total over too. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think so. It might be one of
Yeah.
those things. It might be one of those things where they kind of split it in half. Like what we did with the Suns yesterday.
The Suns. Yep. I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah, yeah.
I'm
All
gonna write
right.
that down too. I see.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Let's move on to the next one here. The Wizards and the Cavs. Did you have any? I think you had the side on this one, right? I had the
Yeah.
total.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I like the
All
side.
right,
I
go
see.
talk about the side here.
Yeah, I like the Cavs in the bounce back spot here. I see. You get them off a home loss, and they typically play well in that situation. So what I looked at was a home favorite off a previous home loss. And I think they were 3-1 in that spot,
Yep.
straight up in against the spread, right? And then you just look at them as home favorites, RC, in conference games. We know that the Cavs are a very strong team at home. I think what are they like 28-8, I think, at home, just straight up. But you look at
Yeah.
them, off in conference games, as a home favorite, and they play well in this spot. This is the first leg of a back-to-back for the Wizards, which is a spot that I think is appropriate for fading them. They do host the Sacramento Kings tomorrow, and it's a bad
Yep.
travel spot for them too. I see their last 4 games have been home, road, and then tomorrow they go back home again to take on that Sacramento King. Also, I looked at some cleaning the glass stuff in this one too, RC, and they profile pretty terribly in this spot against top 10 offenses and top 10 defenses, which Cleveland has both. So across 4 games this season, when they're playing, the Wizards are playing teams that have a top 10 offense and a top 10 defense, which the Cavs are. The Wizards actually ranked 23rd in points per possession and 24th in effective field goal percentage. On the defensive side, they ranked 27th in opponent points per possession and 25th in opponent effective field goal percentage. But just one more thing we can kind of query real quick, RC. If we look at you bringing it up right now, so
Okay.
we look at the Wizards. If we look at the Wizards, RC, this season as road dog in conference games on the first leg of a back-to-back, they should be 0-3 straight up and against the spread in that spot.
So first leg of back-to-back.
Yeah, and first leg of back-to-back. Yep.
0-3, 0-3, and to the under as well.
Yeah, and you see the margin right there, right? It's just not a spot where they typically score a lot of points. We know that they can struggle on the road as well. One other thing I looked at, RC, was in general, this team is just 2-7 ATS playing on the first leg of a back-to-back in general. Like they just don't play well in that spot. And I think I got them at 0-4 straight up and against the spread, losing by an average of 9 points when they're playing on the first leg of a back-to-back on the road versus a conference opponent as well. So for all of those reasons, I do like the Cavs in this bounce back spot today, RC. I know that they won't have Jared Allen, but I think that they'll find a way to be able to win this game and cover. This it's not an extremely big number that you need them to cover. I saw the spread also went down to 5, so maybe you can get a better number. And I talked about, I kind of gave you guys the information of why I like them on the side. Let's see. What else did I have for you, RC? I just think it's a bounce back spot. Like I said, Cavs at home today. Give them
Wizards. So one thing that I saw was the Wizards on the road on the first leg of back-to-back games, 2-7 straight up, 2-7 ATS. Pointing towards the Cavs there. And obviously, there's one game where they were the favorite, ended up winning, but still they failed to cover against the Pistons there. The other thing on the Cavs side, if you look at the Cavaliers side, and we go, I think it's home favorite, and win percentage is less than 50. Is that right? Less than losing record. There you go. Cavaliers 12-3 straight up, 9-4-2 ATS, 9-6 to the under as well. So a lot of things to me was initially I took the under, right, 220. It did go up to 221. Now we're seeing, obviously we're seeing some Cavaliers trends here as well, support on that side. Only reason why I didn't take it was I just feel like the spot or the Wizards are more rested, but a lot of things are pointing in that direction. Even when I did, kind of look towards the under here, a lot of things were pointing towards the Cavs to cover as well. If you look at post All-Star break, both of these guys in the bottom, I think it's the bottom four, whether Cavs and Wizards, bottom four in pace. So both two of the slower teams in the league post All-Star break. That's the reason why I took the under. That's the reason why I took the under in that one.
I like the under too, RC. I would not play this game to go over. I'd be right there with you, especially with the Wizards having to save some. RC,
Yeah.
real quick, this I think our trend actually comes into play in this game as well. Post All-Star break, conference game, next rest equals 0. I know that's been a trend that we've been riding, that's been cashing a lot for us, hitting at a really high rate.
Which one again? Sorry.
And no, that's it. That's it. In conference, and it's a conference game.
AASB and rest equals 0. Non-conference. Why does it look a little bit different?
I'm not sure. What? Hold on. You got the right year in there too. What is that?
And rest equals 0 and conference.
Oh, away. That's what it is. I think it's away, RC.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And I think if you add dog, it gets even worse too.
That's what it was. Okay, yeah. Has it been going over? It looks like it's been going over a couple of times the last few. I know we did it right away, right after the All-Star break. I think we started cashing around the March or like this area, 28th or whatever. The last few did go over, not by a big margin though. 0.5 here, 3.5 here. I still like the under, even though it's like kind of going in the other direction, like trending in the other direction. But yeah.
The other thing to know, I see, is like none of these teams play defense as good as the Cavs do at home. Like none of the teams on that list, right? So we are talking about the best defensive team in the league at home. So yeah.
All right, let's go into. All right, let's go. So I like the under. I probably might get there with you on the Cavs there. 5.5. Yesterday was at 6, but 5.5 seems like it's. I mean, obviously it's a little better, but I might get there with you.
I'm probably gonna get there with you as well, RC, and take that under, especially if it continues to go up.
Let's move on to the Warriors and the Hawks here. This is the one that a lot of people are talking about just because of the high total. Everyone expecting a lot of points here to the over, and for good reason, right? Like there's a lot of things pointing in that direction. Defensively, I mean both of these teams in the bottom of the league here. The Hawks especially 119.6 defensively. Post All-Star break on the offensive side of the ball, they're one of the top teams, 4th in the league right there. And we know the Warriors on the road, they struggle. They struggle offensively. They struggle defensively for the most part. If you look at them post All-Star break, we just go Warriors All-Star break, and then on the road, 0-5 straight up, 0-5 ATS. Look how much points they're giving up in that spot, 127.8 right there. Only one of them going under their team total for the most part, especially the last 3 going over their team total by margin. It seems like the Hawks should be able to push this pace up and make this a game where it's going to force the Warriors to have to keep up with them. And if that's the case, then this is definitely going over, even though it's a high total. One more thing too that I looked at was the Warriors here, and I believe Curry's going to play, right? Don't you think Curry's going to play, right?
Absolutely.
All right, so if we take out Draymond Green, right, and we say Stephen Curry is in, right? So we got Draymond out, Steph Curry in. Only one game so far, but it's well above the total, right? It's 150. What is it? 153, 151. Sorry, 251. And that was against the Nuggets on the road as well. Obviously, they're on the second leg of back-to-back games, but I mean, it just goes to show that this is not a spot that the Warriors play defense in. If Atlanta is up early, they're going to push the pace. Obviously, they're going to continue to push the pace. I can only look towards the over in this one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't got too much to add. RC, I mean, just some more trends, I guess. The Hawks 16-11 to the over as home favorites, including 4-1 to the over as home favorites post All-Star break. That the Warriors are 25-8 to the over on the road, 13-5 to the over as road dogs. RC, my question for you would be: is this a spot where we take Atlanta? Because I told you I don't trust Atlanta laying points at home.
Yeah.
but is this a spot where we take Atlanta, RC, on the spread,
like,
or is this a spot where we take the team total, like I kind of did the other day against the Clippers?
I mean, so we look at Warriors here on the road, right? Obviously, they've been what is this, 9 in a row now, right? Because I think we faded them last time with the Clippers, right? We took the Clippers there. Dude, they're giving it up a lot. Just opponent team total. What is it? Probably 10 of the last 11 or 9 of the last 10.
And it's 126.5 today. I see. It kind of makes me think like it's one of those things where, set that high for a reason.
yeah, exactly. Zachariah ATL on Friday night. That's a
trend.
I would think the Warriors are professional to not be like the Grizzlies here and do the things that whatever they do. But I mean, it's after the game too, as well, right? Not during. Not before the game. So if they do anything, it'll be after the game. I can only look towards the over. I can only look towards the Hawks side as well. I'm not really sure. Man, did you get there too? It's just a high number.
I didn't play it yet. I see. Look, so one more thing I see. Let's look at the Warriors on the road, and their rest is the next rest is 0. So on the first leg of a back-to-back, and they're on the road. This is what kind of almost talked me onto Atlanta. I didn't play Atlanta, but like this
so
is
the only
bad.
the only one they didn't cover was the one that their opponent went over the team total. But there's a few OT games in here, right? So obviously they would have Wolves would have went under in this game, right? Hornets 8.2. They probably scored more than 8, right?
When I was thinking about when I showed you that trend, I was thinking more so about taking Atlanta.
Just fading them.
Just off the 1 and 9. Like that's pretty bad. But yeah, I didn't get there. I see. I mean, it's one way though. Like for me, it's one way. That's the only way I'm going.
Wait, what is this Greg Brewer guy talking? All right, so Warriors. So I can only look towards the Hawks. We go to the Hawks and we go home favorite. This is the thing. So obviously, it seems like the Warriors on the road is a lot worse than the Hawks at home. Basically, I like I said, man. I think it's the only way you could look is Hawks in the over. I just don't know if I can get there.
RC, real quick, can I talk you on to I didn't play this one yet either, but can I talk you on to Steph Curry points prop in this game?
Steph Curry points prop. Yeah, we could do that.
29.5, I think, is what the number is, RC. We know it's going to be an extremely fast-paced game. If you go and look at Steph Curry game log on StatMuse, RC, in his last 9 or 10 games, he's crushed this number. I know. Shout out to our guy Josh. I know he's not here right now, but Josh absolutely made so much money betting on this guy the other day against the Clippers.
When he hit 50, yeah.
But I mean, just type in road, RC. Just look at his road game logs because we know they got to score more, right? At home they go under. At home on the road they play no defense. So look at this guy's points total on the road, RC. And we know Atlanta's coming off a game, RC, where they gave up 134 points to the Timberwolves and 136 points to the Boston Celtics. Well, 136 to the Timberwolves, 134 to the Celtics. So I'm sure they're not stopping Golden State tonight either.
And is it 29.5? It
was 29.5. Yeah, it was 27.5 in the last game.
Yeah. All right. 29.5. It's kind of crazy. I mean, obviously he should have the ball in his hands a lot more with Draymond out too, right? Would you think his assist would be another way to go as well, or
I was thinking that. I was thinking that too, RC.
Who would replace Draymond in that offense the way that they run it?
Nobody. They don't have anybody. Draymond's one of a kind in that regard.
How about this? Draymond game log without Curry. Without Draymond Green. That assist doesn't look that great without him.
Who are they playing against, though?
Denver.
Denver twice.
Denver here, Denver. Only 3 games this season, I guess. I
Well,
don't
it's
know
only
what
2.
happened
That's only.
here. What
Oh
happened?
no, it was only
Yo.
1 game this season, right? I see.
Oh shit, yeah, you're right. I thought that was okay. Yeah, you're right. 2-2-23. Only 1 game this season.
Game against Denver in Denver.
Yeah. Is this threes at 4.5?
Yeah, but it should be 7.5. He gonna let them things go tonight. I see. He
Yeah,
gonna have
for
to.
real, dude. That's what I'm saying.
He gonna have to.
I can. Yeah, I can see. Did you take Did you take the points already?
No. But I'm going to. I talked about it yesterday on my show. I just didn't play it yet. But yeah, it's got to be Steph, man. Like who else, right? Like it could be.
Yeah,
I know
for sure.
Zachariah just pointed out in the chat. Clay, last 2 games versus the Hawks, he went crazy, but both of those games didn't have Steph. So if you like Steph Curry assists, then I think that's correlated with probably Clay points.
With
I see.
Clay points, yeah, that's
Yep.
a good point. Let's move on to the next one here. We got Minnesota and the Wolves and the Bulls here. Did you have anything on this one?
No, I see. This is a tough one, man. 2 defensive-minded teams that struggle to score. If I was playing anything, I would have been looking at the total to go under, but the number had already dropped before I started capping it, so I didn't play. I didn't play too much in this one at all.
Yeah, this one was tough for me too. I think some of the trends pointed towards the over, but a lot of the current form stuff looked towards the under. So I kind of stayed away from that in general. But one thing that I talked about in the chat earlier was freaking Pat Bev. Pat Bev's rebounds is ridiculous, right? So we look at real quick, just Pat Bev. So we look at Patrick Beverley game log here. His number tonight is 4.5 rebounds. It is juiced now. Last time I saw it, it was at like minus 125 or something last night. But if you look at all the games with Chicago, he's only gone under 4.5 rebounds 1 time against Phoenix. He got double digits 3 times so far with the Bulls as well. If Caruso doesn't play, obviously they're going to be looking to him for more minutes to focus on the defensive side of the ball. The 4.5 rebounds seems like it's pretty easy. I don't know why they put it in so low, but if you guys were to look at a prop, that might be one of the ones to do is that rebound prop. 4.5 rebounds over. I didn't see anything else really from a side or total perspective, but one thing that on the triple double show we did talk about, it seems like the Wolves' path to victory is the points in the paint and also fast break points. But the Bulls at post All-Star break, they limit those. They limit them. So if we go to team stats here, we go post All-Star break. If we go, I think miscellaneous post All-Star break right here. So we go points, fast break points. Was it fast break points or points in the paint? Points in the paint right here, 56 points in the paint. If we go on the opposite side, Bulls are number 1 at limiting points in the paint. So if that's a path to victory for the Wolves, it's going to be a tough night for them. So I would look towards the Bulls, but I don't know if I'm going to get there to the window with it. All right, let's go on to. So anything else before we move on to the next one?
Nah. Nothing else for me in this one. I see. Like you said, it's a difficult game for me.
All right, so Pelicans Rockets is another one. I didn't have anything like at all in this game. I kind of just threw it away just based on who the matchup was, the Rockets. But I can only look towards the Pelican side here. Did you look into this one at all?
No, I see. I didn't really. I mean, not take a deep dive. I know the Pelicans are coming off that really embarrassing loss against the Lakers the other day, so they've had 2 days to kind of let that just kind of marinate. And the Houston Rockets have surprisingly won 2 games in a row just when we thought that they wanted Victor Wembanyama. Beat the Boston Celtics and then beat the Los Angeles Lakers as well. What I will say is I think, if the Rockets have a full squad today, they do a lot of their scoring, and that's the scary part for me if I'm looking at back in the Pelicans, because what we saw, I watched that game against the Lakers the other day, extremely frustrated that my Lakers lost in that game. But what the Rockets do, I see they run a lot of like pick and roll. They try to score a lot of their points in the paint because they are one of the worst 3-point shooting teams in the league. The Pelicans get dominated in the paint, right? The Pelicans get blasted in the paint specifically. We saw AD do it against them a couple games this season. We've, historically throughout the season kind of taken the opposing team's power forward or center to go over their points plus rebounds or just their points or rebounds individually. So that's the scary thing for me with the Pelicans, I see. But I I don't know what the Rockets want to do. I expect them to revert back eventually to trying to get Victor Wembanyama because they're going the wrong way right now.
Well, they won two in a row against some pretty good teams. It's
Right.
kind of ridiculous. Let's look at real quick. Just look at the Pelicans as road favorites real quick, and then I think after that, I probably don't want to dive into it too much. So to the under. Wait,
That's home. That's
road
home
favorite.
favorite.
Sorry, road favorites. My bad. I meant to put road favorites. Not much at all. That's 50. Nah, I don't think there's anything too significant here. You want to move on to the next one?
Yeah,
I think
let's do that.
The only thing that I would say left would be CJ, maybe PRA. He's been kind of balling lately. I know a lot of things were pointing in the direction of him playing injured, but it seems like he's gotten kind of, I wouldn't say he's healed, but he's kind of gotten over it and figured out how to play with the injury. So I would say that would be the way to go. It's probably that PRA for CJ. Let's move on to the next game here. Grizzlies and the Spurs. Grizzlies and the Spurs here. I mean, Grizzlies coming off of that big loss to the Heat. You would think they want to bounce back here against a Spurs team, a lowly Spurs team here. I didn't go too deep into this one either. What is the line at now? Do we have that? 9? Road favorites of 9 for the Grizzlies? I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah, I can't do it either. I think another big thing is Grizzlies' first leg of a back-to-back. They play the Warriors tomorrow, which we know that game has a lot more meaning than this game does.
Yeah.
So one thing I looked at, was I looked at this Grizzlies team the game before they play against the Warriors. You pull that up real quick.
Say that one more time. Warriors what?
The Grizzlies win the game before they play the Warriors, because I think that game has a lot more meaning, a lot more significance to them than playing the Spurs. Right? Yeah, the Grizzlies specifically.
Fade a fade spot, right? You're saying they're looking ahead to the Warriors here.
Yep, and I'm not sure if it's an under spot because we know that the Spurs can struggle to score at times. They also cannot struggle to score at times, and it's really dependent. It's really dependent though. RC of like what Coach Pop does with his starting lineup, right? Like who plays, who doesn't play. I don't think they have a lot of significant injuries today. So if I'm playing the game, I know it's an ugly play, but I'm only looking at the Spurs plus the points in this one.
Has to be right. 9 points as road favorites. So let's go back to road favorites again one more time. So you have this one that says the Grizzlies are probably going to look ahead. And so let's say less than 50 and next opponent. Wait, Warriors not even over 55? Oh, yeah, they are. Wait.
Under.
Oh, no, okay. Wait. What's the Warriors?
The Warriors record?
Yeah,
it might be actually right split down the middle. I see. It might be right even.
Okay, hold on.
Let me check. I'm gonna check real quick. Hold on. They're above 50%. They're 36 and 34.
36 and 34. All right, so I just put. All right, so they're a road favorite, right? They're facing a team less than 500. Their next opponent is above 500. So basically, what you mentioned, right? That look ahead spot here. It looks like an under game.
Mm-hmm. You got to say something for tomorrow, right? Especially if you got the Warriors on deck.
For tomorrow. So Grizzlies. So we look at Grizzlies.
Matt Stoney said, "Damn."
Yeah, I mean, see, that's what the point of Let's Cap is, man. You just find shit like this that you can kind of use moving forward. So, I mean, people just say things, and then you never know if it's true or not. But we're deep diving basically. So I would look towards the under. I think you make a lot of sense with that look ahead to the Warriors here. Let's just look at the Spurs side real quick to see if anything's correlated. Oops. Home dog. So home dog situation typically to the over.
What about after All-Star break? Specifically.
So Grizzlies and so 4-2 to the over. So a little bit to the over there. 4-2 to the team total under for their opponent. You think that Grizzlies team total under makes sense as well? Oh shit, Matt Stoney just made it. Man, that's tough. So I would look towards Grizzlies team total under or the full game under in that one.
Has the Grizzlies scored 121 points RC post All-Star break without Jordan?
They've been struggling since they lost Steven Adams.
Right. Can we look at that real quick?
Perspective. Yeah,
let's look at the Grizzlies post All-Star break.
Just after All-Star break.
Yeah, just after All-Star break.
Oh,
I mean, we can break it down after that and get a little bit more deeper into it.
So we got 2 games here. Clippers and the Warriors. So Clippers in LA, Warriors at home.
So hold on, put it back in order by date, RC. So the Nuggets game was the game that Ja left. So after
that's
the
when
Nuggets, that's
after the suspension or whatever, right?
Yeah, because I guess it's been on that Saturday. So
yeah.
That Friday was the night that he was in Denver. So it was the Clippers and the Warriors. Okay.
Warriors here. And if we just go back to greater than or equal to, I think it was this state. It's probably this state because I have it saved. 112.3 per game. If we just look at their DPS, they've only gone over in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. So that's what, 6 and 18? Yeah, all right, yeah. 6 and 18. But it's the Spurs defense, though. That's the problem.
I was about to say it's crazy that we even thinking about a team total under against the Spurs.
Real quick, so let's just look at it real quick. Are they dead last post All-Star break? Spurs. Wait, where are they at? Oh, they're 18th.
Okay, San Antonio, play a little defense there.
Grizzlies. Fuck. Yeah, no. I can only look towards the under. All right, I don't know if I'm gonna bet that one though.
Yeah,
that was kind of crazy.
In the chat, I see they are talking about, and I talked about this earlier too. I didn't talk about it, but I saw people mention it. The Jones brothers play each other today. Tyus and Trey, back and forth.
I got a Trey card sitting right in front of me, a rookie card somewhere.
For real?
Yeah, I do. It's actually right here. It's like in case one. Yeah, I mean Trey. I think Trey Jones, the way he's kind of run that offense for the Spurs has been pretty dope. But yeah, I'm not gonna mess with it. All right, let's go to. Man, I hate blocking people, bro, but this fucking guy. And I'm gonna leave you here. You keep watching the show. All right, let's go. Let's go on to Celtics and the Blazers here. You have anything on this one? I didn't really look at it, but it seems like the Celtics kind of in bad form. I mean, obviously they come off that narrow win, but not really playing like that great. Blazers, on the other hand, too, they just kind of fell off after January. Like they peaked way too early. Second game of a 3-game homestand. Key game against the Clippers up next as well for the Blazers. I can only look towards the Celtics bouncing back, but their current form is just terrible.
Yeah, I would agree, RC. I agree with everything you said. One thing real quick, while you still on that screen, RC, this is post All-Star break. Just click on defensive rating. Let's just sort defensive rating. I can't bet on teams that are in the bottom 10 to do anything for me. And you look at defensive rating, and you see where is there we go. There you go. Yeah. So it's
basically.
Yeah, that's my point. It's Celtics are nothing for me. I can't bet on Portland right now. I know the spread's moving in that direction. I think that's because Tatum did take that hard fall in the last game. RC, I don't know if he's gonna be playing this game.
Yeah.
But if Tatum plays in this game, RC, I feel like he could potentially have a really big game. One thing I looked at was just his last couple games. Tatum shot the ball like really, really bad in his last 2 games. I think it's something like he's something like 2 for like his last 18 from the 3-point line or something like that. So let's look at this real quick. I see. So 2 for 18 shooting the 3-point ball last 2 games. Right. Now he gets the Portland Trailblazers. I see. This has to like make him feel great. So if you look at his game log versus Portland, pull that up real quick, RC.
Oh shit, he just scored 30 very efficiently too.
I feel like it's the prime bounce back spot for Jason Tatum tonight if he plays.
Who else is questionable for the Celtics right now? So we got
Nobody
30,
else.
27, 31.
Nobody else.
Man, you know his rebounds and assists was hidden for a while too, and then that kind of fell off as well. What's his point prop right now?
I think it's 28 and a half. Let me check it just to make sure. It's typically sitting around that 27, 28, 29 range, just based on opponent, how bad they are defensively. Right now, he's not even listed just because I think he is questionable because of that fall, RC. If he doesn't play, I like Jaylen Brown to go over his 27 and a half for sure.
What is a -4? Dang. That's crazy. I don't think I'm gonna mess with this one.
Me either.
Seems pretty tricky here. All right, let's go on to the last game. I think that's the last game. Yeah, Mavs and the Lakers. Kind of wanted to get to the Mavs here. I saw Jay was on the first quarter. Did you take anything in this one?
Nah, I see. I think at this point in the year, the Lakers frustrated me so bad with that loss to the Rockets. I don't want to play them. I don't want to touch them. I don't want to watch them. They just, losing to the Rockets in a must-win game just really frustrated me. I low-key just didn't even want to cap this team. I don't really want to talk about them, none of that. But I mean, I guess if I'm looking at the game, it is another must-win situation. I thought the last game was a must-win situation as well. I listened to Jay as well. He talked about, just the chemistry being thrown off just a tad bit with Kyrie coming back. I know Luka's back. Since we've been doing the show, reports have come out that Tim Hardaway Jr. is going to play. So, it should throw off the chemistry. I like, Jay's play, but I didn't play anything in this game. I know that the Celtics are not – I know the Mavs still not playing no defense, especially when you get Kyrie and Luka back in the lineup. So, maybe a Laker team total over and AD back for the Lakers. So, it should be a Lakers spot, but can't trust them.
So one thing we know Luka's out, right? We don't know if Kyrie's going to play. He's questionable. I would think he plays today, but one thing that I did look at was after Kyrie joined the squad, I think it was just two games off the bat, Luka was out. They ended up winning and covering both of those games, the Kings and the Clippers here. Road dogs, right? +8, +4.5. Now they're 5.5 dog. Or is it 5.5? Or did it move? All right, so it moved down to 4.5. Earlier I saw 5.5. So it's going in the direction of Dallas. Yeah, I had to believe that it's moving in that direction because Kyrie probably is going to play. Oh, well, everyone's saying it then. Kyrie threw shoot around, so that makes a lot of sense. So we go to Mavericks here. Sorry, my Lakers. And we go a team that they previously beat. So we go to W here. Because Mavs won the first two. The Lakers won the most recent one. The other thing that I was looking at, if you don't like the side, was the under. Because obviously we seen the Lakers play really solid defense, right? The other thing to mention is in this spot, when they beat a team previously, they have been an under team as well. 14-6 to the under against that same squad. The Mavs, I think it was, let me look at I think it was defensively. Was it defensively? There you go. They're on the bottom 10. That's the only thing that kind of scared me off of the under, is that their defense isn't that great. And also with Kyrie, they pushed the pace a little bit. So I was leaning Mavs. I was leaning to the under. Just a little small things here and there kind of talked me off of it. I don't know, man. The under still kind of seems like the play because even the Lakers' offensive efficiency isn't that great either post All-Star break.
Well, so here's my pushback with that, RC. The last couple games, I think if you look at the last 3 games for the Lakers post All-Star break, since D'Lo's come back, it was that home game against the Knicks. And actually started with the Raptors. So the home game versus the Raptors, the Knicks and the Pelicans, like those are the offense has looked a lot more fluent. And I've watched the Lakers kind of climb up. They were bottom 10 defensively, which is why they were going under in all those games. and then their offense was ranked 9th, I think, before the loss against the Rockets. So I don't know where they are right now, but if we go look at them, what is that, last 4 games, RC? Let's check the Lakers offensive rating out, like on NBA.com advanced stats over the last 4 games and see where they rank. Because I just feel like D'Lo, not post All-Star break, but more so like just the last 4 games, last 4, with D'Lo in. I just feel like he's been pushing the pace a little bit for the Lakers, and the offense has kind of picked up just a tad bit.
Definitely a lot better offensively. It pushes it up to 117.2. Pace-wise, it's actually slower, right? 98.75. Is that right?
Yeah.
So they slow it down, but they're a lot more efficient offensively. So that makes a lot of sense with D'Lo playing the point guard position.
That's kind of kept me off them totals. I actually wish that he didn't come back, RC, so we could have just kept cashing Lakers unders.
Yeah. Look at Dallas's offense too. That's why I stayed out. There's just so many things going back and forth. But I did take the 2 that I talked about earlier. I don't know if I'm gonna add anything else, to be honest. I just like those earlier. Probably the only thing that I'm probably gonna add, probably the Cavs look. Did we look to see if the first half or the full game was better? You took the full game, right?
For the Cavs?
Yeah.
Yeah. I broke it down just looking at EV analytics pretty quickly. One thing we know about the Wizards is they typically play well early in the game. So if they have a fighting chance, their offense typically, slows down throughout the games. Because I thought about taking the Cavs as well. And I still think the Cavs first half could be in play. I see Markel just put it in the chat as well. Because typically when the Cavs win at home, they do like typically cover the trifecta spot. So what if we look at the Cavs off of a home loss, RC, and their home favorite?
So they're down actually in the first quarter.
And then they come back and win in the first half by 2 points, it looks like. Yeah, so maybe not. What about the Wizards as road dogs?
That's where we see an advantage at the half, at least. Right?
In conference games?
Quarter. Yeah.
In conference games too?
So it's the second quarter where we see that gap. What if we do? They're on the first leg of back-to-backs, right? That's the one that I was looking at earlier. Okay, so the Cavs, that first quarter there, but man. All right, I'll probably just stick with the full game. Or the other way that we could do it is probably the first half, and if it doesn't cover, take the second half. All right, well, we'll figure it out. Anything else? Anything else to drop before we go?
Nah, see, I just, those are my favorite 2 looks, the ones that we talked about. I'll recap them in a second, but yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah. What's Ski say? I do it. Not really sure what Ski was talking about. All right, well, let's move on to the recap session here. All right, go ahead and drop your officials, Chris.
Yeah, so Sixers and Hornets. I see we talked about that one. I played it at 227. I like it to go up and over that total today for all the reasons that we mentioned earlier. And then I'm also on the Cavs minus the 5.5 in the primetime bounce back spot. I like them here today. You go through this Wizards profile, and they just struggle against really good defensive teams. They play well against offensive teams, but they struggle against defensive teams. We saw them get smacked up over the weekend. It was on Sunday, I think, that they lost to the Philadelphia 76ers when they buckled down on defense. Now they get a team that plays even better defense than than that team. So I think the Wizards struggle here, and also don't like the spot for them. Like I mentioned, road, home, and then they got to go back home because they're on the first leg of a back-to-back. So those would be my top 2 plays. I took the Wizards. I took the Cavs minus the 5.5. The numbers come down to 5, so I like it even more, of course. And then I also took that total with you between Charlotte and Philly to go over 227.
Gotcha. Yeah. One more thing. So I'll drop mine first real quick. Sixers, Hornets, I did take that over 227. I did take the Wizards, Cavs under 220, but it has moved up to 221. Obviously, I still like it. Obviously, but I'm going to stick with that under there. One thing I forgot to mention, I'm just going to share my screen really quick. I did mention this in the chat as well, is Tobias Harris. he hasn't been balling lately, but it seems like this matchup against the Hornets is something that he kind of thrives in. His PRA is at 20. Shit, what was it? 20 something and a half.
I think you said 22 and a half.
22 and a half. Is it? I thought it was lower than that. I think it was 21. Oh shit. PRA 19 and a half. There you go. PRA is 19 and a half, right? It's probably that low just because he hasn't been balling like he normally does. But if you look at his matchup against the Hornets, he's gone over this since like 2017 or some shit like that. Like even the current season, right? He has 2 games with Philly against the Hornets this season that gone over that PRA. So I would look in that direction. I think that's one thing that you could probably look towards as far as a prop perspective. But I did want to add that because I like that one, and I also like I don't like that bet, but I do like his prop on the rebounds there. That 4.5 rebounds. A lot of trends are pointing in that direction. That's it. So two totals, two prop plays that I give out there. Not even a lot of leans, dude. I mean, like maybe that Grizzlies team total under and the full game under, and that one is a lean. That's all. I mean, big slate, but had to focus on some other games there. PJ Tucker under in points. I mean, like yeah. Let me just look at that real quick. Chris, you got time to stay on, or you want to?
Yeah. No. I'm good.
I'm just gonna go through the chat and go through some questions. Then I got a little bit of time here, probably like 7 more minutes. All right, let's go to. So you said PJ Tucker under his points. So if we go to points here. And we just go to look. Let's just look for PJ Tucker off the bat. So we go PJ. Shit, he's not even on here. He's not even on here. PJ Tucker is not on the list, so I can't help you there. But I would only be able to look at the under if it's like 9 points or some shit like that. Yeah, I'll probably take the under here. Any other questions before we cut out? AE assist. Let's look at AE assist. So we go to assist here. Go towards ranking. Let's do about ranking. Not towards the top here. There's AE assist. 3.5. Gone over in 4 of the last 8, averaging 4.4 in that span. When he does hit by margin, averaging 6.8 when he hits. Matchup wise, 20th. So I guess that's not. My bad. My earphones died. So it looks like it is the right. It seems like it's a good matchup here for that over 3.5 assists. Let's look at his game log. Seven and 5.
He got called out, RC. You remember?
Yeah, I remember Ski mentioned that in the chat.
Yeah, Ski mentioned that. Yeah, I watched the post-game interview as well and read it too. So he's been, more of a facilitator for the team for sure.
Yeah. Makes sense. 3.5 assists. I mean, when was that? When did he get called out? Was it Philly or Brooklyn?
It was after the Brooklyn game.
Gotcha. Makes sense. All right, let's move on. AD rebounds. AD rebounds is tough, man. That's a really high number, 13.5. I know he's gone over it a little bit. I think when he goes over by margin too, though. He got like 17 the other day. So we go rebounds here. Over, yeah, that's right. AD 13.5 rebounds. Gone over in 5 of his last 8, averaging 13.9. When he does hit, like I mentioned, he's going up and over that number a lot. 17.8 rebounds here. Good matchup. Says that 27th. So that means what? 4th best for opposing rebounds to the forward. Yeah, I mean, I would say over. Anthony, so we just look at his game log. All right, so 17-16. There you go. Yeah, 22.
15 against Dallas.
15 against Dallas already. Let's just look at his game log versus the Mavs. 15, 12. So yeah, that's only one game.
But that was back in 2021 because this is his first time. That was his first time
that's
playing.
That's a while. Yeah, that's a while ago.
He missed the other games that we had. The Christmas Day one.
I
The
would
other
say
one in
maybe
LA.
the over. AD is over. All right, so AD averages 14.9 without LeBron. Hit 12 of the last 16. Good shit, Ski. Look at double as well. Makes sense. There you go.
Zachariah said, "Who we laddering today?" in the chat. DJ in question. Hashtag DJ in question.
Where is
Ronald.
he at?
I
Who we
see.
laddering today?
Yeah, I think Zachariah. If I'm laddering somebody, I'm looking at Trae Young assists against that Golden State defense. With how fast pace they're gonna be playing.
Yeah, it's at 10.5. I know. So we look at Trey's game log versus the Warriors. He went over by a lot in the last 2 against the Warriors, I believe. Trae Young game log versus the Warriors specifically. I think it was like 15 and 14. Yeah, 14 and 15. So last 2 times he's played them, 14 earlier this season, 15 last season. So it makes a lot of sense. I think it's at 10.5 right now, right?
If I'm laddering something, that's what I like today. I see, because if he get 20, it wouldn't surprise me none.
What about what you mentioned earlier, right? Steph's points or his
Steph's
threes,
point,
right?
yeah. No, the only reason I don't like Steph points as much, I see, is because they are on the first leg of a back to back. So I mean, I think he goes over his points prop for sure, but like I don't know if he's gonna go like balls to the wall tonight, just because they do have to play Memphis tomorrow. So he got to save a little bit for Memphis, and it's a conference game, so you definitely want to win all your games, but you need that one tomorrow.
Gotcha. All right, I think that's it, guys. I mean, we've talked about a lot, went through a lot of games. Anything else before we cut out, Chris?
Nah, that's it, man. Appreciate you for having me on. Hopefully we get some cash. 2 top plays of the day. Let's cash them both.
Yeah, we've been cashing all week long, so hopefully we continue going and close out the week pretty strong here. And then yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. And I always end the show like this, whether you fade us or follow us. It is on you guys to make that call. Good luck with all your action. Until next time. Peace.